What's up, guys? Welcome back to Keeping Up with the Pack. It's your co-host, Laina Tomei.
And Smylie, and we are so excited to have you guys back to recap some of the biggest Northwood events of 2024.
And what a year it has been at Northwood.
That's right, Laina. Starting with the creation of the Center for Automotive and Mobility Studies, also known as CAMS.
And we're going to be hearing all about that from Colin Kubik, who recently sat down with Dr. Matt Bennett, who is Vice President of Enrollment and CAMS.
Take it away, Colin.
My name is Colin Kubik, and this is the automotive segment of Keeping Up with the Pack. Happy to be back here with you guys, and I have a special guest here with Dr. Matthew Bennett. We are going to be discussing CAMS, which we have talked about in previous episodes, but with the expert on the subject matter here, I would like to ask Dr. Bennett, can you tell us a little bit more about what you see for CAMS in the future here at Northwood?
No, thank you, Colin, and it's a privilege to be here. Really excited about this year. We're closing the year strong, but one of the biggest things we're proud of is the launch of our Center for Automotive and Mobility Studies. It really is the bridging of our automotive retail programming and our automotive aftermarket programming, which Northwood has been a leader for decades, dating back to the 60s when we started automotive retail programming. Now, transition to 2024, you've got the GOAT, the LG Bright, leading that program. And really, our goal with CAMS is to be the epicenter for education and training for the automotive retail and automotive aftermarket sectors. That includes 4-degree programs like the ones that you're in, Colin, but also it includes corporate training, customized training, the University Aftermarket, and then even some new and innovative programming at the graduate level at the DeVos Graduate School of Management for automotive aspiring leaders. So we really took a good look in the mirror as a university leadership team, got some great insight from what we referred to as the Fantastic Four on our board of trustees, who are executives in the industry. And the industry said to us, where have you been? And our trustees said, if we really want to keep a differentiating niche, we need to double down in one of the industries that made us great. And having those differentiating factors in a marketplace that's very condensed and convoluted really gives us a place where we can put our stake in the ground as not only America's free enterprise university, but America's Automotive University. So we're really excited about building that brand and building Northwood and becoming more and more at the forefront of where we deserve to be as America's leader in automotive education.
Fantastic. Really staking our name in that dirt. I like that a lot.
You got to put the flag in the ground, and we know our alumni will salute it, but we also know the sons and daughters of folks in the industry will salute it. So we've built some really good momentum over the last 2 years, and with CAMS, we feel we can continue that trend with a lot of automotive retail and aftermarket companies nationally and globally.
Respect. I love that a lot. And I'm just curious, to the students out there, what can they, or from your thoughts, what do you hope that they can gain from the entrance of CAMS on this campus and, and towards their degree pathways?
Yeah, I think for those students who are already here, expect big things. For those that are not here yet, expect big things. I think the reality of CAMS and our Center for Automotive and Mobility Studies is really, as I know others have heard me say many times, we really want to put a big spotlight and turn up the volume as much as we can as an industry leader and thought leader in automotive retail and automotive aftermarket education. And as those industries continue to converge across the country, more and more people are raising their hand on how they can work collaboratively and complementary. So for students, it's going to be more engagement with industry leaders. It's going to be more guest speakers. It's going to be more internships. It's going to be more job opportunities. It's going to be higher paid job opportunities nationally and globally. So as we become that epicenter for automotive retail and aftermarket education, folks, when they visit campus, as we even look into infrastructure investment, we'll see beautiful buildings dedicated to this space, unbelievable faculty members that we've gained investment from with industry experience. So it's a yes and across the board for opportunities for students who are interested in this dynamic industry. But even for those that are undecided, if we can share and shed some light on what career opportunities exist, they're going to have tremendous life opportunities to grow in the industry.
Yeah, and I got to echo you on that. Earlier in this semester, we had the wonderful entrance of CAMS through the summit when we had invited high profile business leaders out here. We have the names of like Brian Benstock, Tom Klein, Bob Crone, Eric Flo. We had names galore. And I'm just curious, what is something that you hope that these industry leaders will take away after seeing our forward development here at Northwood towards the auto world?
They're going to take away that this is the place to be if you want to discuss automotive retail and aftermarket education and thought leadership. As you mentioned, that inaugural automotive summit led by Dr. David Oventhaw, our Subaru of New England professor of automotive strategy, LG Bright, who we mentioned previously, and members of our team. I've always referenced the auto show, our 61st auto show, and auto shows in general as Northwood's Super Bowl. Right? It's really our Super Bowl to put a spotlight on our students like you, Colin, and others to get experiential learning. So this was the pregame, right? This inaugural industry summit brought leaders far and wide, as you mentioned, not only in the retail space, but aftermarket space, F&I space, and it was a culmination of thought leadership that really put a big spotlight. When I made the introduction at the event, I suggested where in the United States or the world for that matter would you find a collection of automotive giants that we have on our campus here in Midland, Michigan. We even had Automotive News do an about face. I know Kate Hessling did a great job with this. Did an about face to change his plans to come cover the event live on campus that Thursday before the show. So it was exciting. It's a little daunting knowing that we set the bar so high in year one, right? Everybody can knock it out one time, but to be able to get a hit the second time. So we've already started planning for 2025 under Katrina Ness's leadership as our 62nd annual Auto Show General Chair. Congratulations to Katrina. But we're really looking forward to building bigger, better, and once again, putting a big spotlight not only on you and our students, but Northwood as that center of automotive leadership.
I don't think there's a better place we could leave it off. I just want to thank you, Dr. Bennett, for taking the time.
Yeah, you bet.
Taking the time to speak with me, but more so speak with all of our viewership as well. So this is a great wrap up to year 2024 here at Northwood, and I'm really excited to see what we have in store. So I'm going to shoot it right back to you ladies back at the office, Miss Laina and Bella. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Colin, for this great recap of this moving development here on campus.
One of the things that makes CAM so special is the commitment to incorporating the Northwood idea, to show students the importance of personal responsibility, earned success, and free enterprise.
Exactly. And speaking of that, it's actually a great time to hear from our next co-host, Collin Ridgway, who's going to give us a look into Northwood's efforts of driving free enterprise on campus and beyond.
Absolutely. Here's to you, Colin.
Thanks, Bella and Laina. This past year has been one for the books in terms of Northwood's efforts to promote free enterprise on campus and beyond. Today, I'm here with one of our newest Fresh Air ambassadors, Julian Lee. Welcome, Julian.
Thank you, Colin. Appreciate you having me here today.
Well, we're glad to have you here. Before we talk about your ambassadorship, for viewers who aren't familiar with our university's guiding philosophy, can you briefly describe the Northwood idea?
Of course I can, Colin. So as you mentioned, the Northwood idea is our university's guiding philosophy. It focuses on individual freedom, personal responsibility, earned success, and the importance of business. It also complements our Fresh Air Code of Ethics, which prioritize freedom, responsibility, empathy, spirituality, honesty, achievement, integrity, and respect.
Julian, I couldn't have said it better myself. What part of the Northwood idea and Fresh Air Code of Ethics inspired you to put your hat in the ring to be named the 2024 Fresh Air Ambassador?
Well, what inspired me was a good friend of mine named Jalen Pitchford, or others at Northwood University know him as Jay Pitch. And we shared a hotel room for the Outstanding Business Leaders Awards Gala. And so I had some time to connect with him and really learn more about him. And he was the last year's Fresh Air Ambassador in 2023. And he kind of inspired me to put my foot forward and be this year's Fresh Air Ambassador.
Sounds like a great role model. Now, can you tell the viewers what a Fresh Air Ambassador does?
So as the Fresh Air Ambassador, we are essentially Northwood University's advocate. And we are the university's student speaker, and we attend their signature events. And we also do some stuff with local communities and also news channels as well.
Now, Julian, through your ambassadorship, what do you gain, or what do you hope to gain from this experience?
Well, what I hope to gain is the ability to impact the others around me, just as Jalen did for me when I was a sophomore and he was an upperclassman at that time. He really showed me and guided me and taught me what he would do in my position as a sophomore and giving me all the advice and criticism and critiques that he could give me that he wished that he would have done. And it's so great to learn from somebody who has went through the same things and went through Northwood University.
It's a great answer. Now, while it hasn't been long since you were named the Fresh Air Ambassador, what has your ambassadorship experience been like thus far?
So it's been absolutely amazing. I had the opportunity to work a lot with student life, such as Nancy Hofer, who's been incredible, one of the most kindest ladies that I've ever met. She's always looking for new stuff for Haley and I, which is the other Fresh Air Ambassador, Haley Granada. She's always looking for new stuff for us to attend. And so that what that entails was this past year, me and Haley were able to attend the Distinguished Women's Awards Gala, and we were student speakers there.
Well said, Julian. Well, it's been such a pleasure, and thank you for joining us, and thank you for your service as Fresh Air Ambassador.
Well, thank you, Colin, for having me. I appreciate you having me, and I'm so glad to be here as well.
Of course. Now, back to Bella and Laina in the podcast studio.
Thank you so much, Colin. It's not hard to be inspired by Julian and his ambassadorship. We really appreciate his passion and dedication.
We really do. It's incredible to think that on top of what he does on campus, Julian's also a student athlete.
Absolutely. He's a fantastic example of how our student athletes go above and beyond, not only in their sports, but in the traditional classroom as well.
Yeah, he really is. And speaking of student athletes, Avery Huston recently sat down with Northwood Athletics Director Jeff Curtis to talk about some of our memorable fall sports season. And here's a look at that conversation.
Thanks, Bella and Laina. I'm here at Ritma Arena. Let's go Mad. And today I'm here with Director of Athletics, Jeff Curtis.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So it's been an incredible fall season. We've gotten a lot of highlights to talk about today. We've really seen the athletes working hard this season, but let's first kick it off with football.
Sure. The football season was a tremendous success for us this year. It's the first winning season we've had since 2017. The guys did a great job. We probably were real close to having an unbelievable season. They lost 5 games by a total of 28 points. So very competitive, future's very bright, but the biggest part of the season this year for them was winning the Axe Bowl against Saginaw Valley. It's the first time we've had the Axe in our possession since 2017, and for every single player on the team, including the coaches, that's the first time they've had it. So it was really pretty special. It was a wonderful atmosphere, a lot of alums back in the stands to watch that game, and just a really, really cool day for Northwood.
You can definitely see the trophy case very shining bright each day.
Yes.
So that's really cool.
Yep.
So let's run it on over to cross country. How's their season looking?
Sure. Both men and women had a strong season, and for our men, they were ranked in the top 10 in the region for a large portion of the season, which is pretty amazing. They actually had a few injuries that knocked them back a few pegs, but both the teams finished in the middle of the pack in our region, and there's very promising for the future, and I think they're trending in the right direction.
That's awesome. And I heard our soccer won the GMAC tournament.
That was last year, but this year they came on second, unfortunately. They made it to the championship game for the second straight year. This is our women's soccer team. Coach Kohornen has done an amazing job with them. They've really excelled. They continue to get better, and for them to be back in the championship game in back-to-back years is really pretty special, and they just narrowly missed making the NCAA regionals this year. So lots to be proud of for sure.
Yeah, wow. Let's kind of on over to hockey. How's hockey doing on the ice?
Hockey is having an unbelievable season. They're currently 14-2, and last week they knocked off a top 10 team. I think when we kind of fast forward a little bit here in the next few weeks, you're going to see the Northwood name ranked in the top 25 in the country. So it's a very exciting time for hockey, and they're doing a great job.
Hats off to them. And finally, we're going to finish it off with volleyball. How's the girls doing?
Volleyball had a great season as well. They finished second in the league. league. We hosted a playoff game here for the first time in a long time. Unfortunately, weren't able to win that game. They were ranked in the top 10 in the region for at least at the end of the season. The top 8 make it to the NCAA regionals, so they narrowly missed it. But that was really capped off with Coach Shoemaker being named Coach of the Year in our conference and Sydney Hassenfratz being named the Player of the Year. So a lot to be proud of there as well. It's really been a good fall.
Wow, it sounds like it. I'm really, really proud of all of our athletes and coaches. Find more out about our sports at gonorthwood.com. So thanks so much for having us and being here with us today. And we're going to go back to the podcast studio with Bella and Laina.
Thank you, Avery. I am blown away by the talent and dedication of our student athletes and the great support that they receive from Director Jeff Curtis and the rest of his team.
It really has been a fun season to be a Timberwolf, and I'm sure it'll be really interesting to see what the spring sports season has to bring.
It really will, and everyone can learn more about that during the next episode of Keeping Up with the Pack.
Absolutely. And for now, thank you so much to everyone who tuned in for today's episode, and we wish you a very safe and happy holiday season.
Happy New Year from both Laina and I and the rest of the Keeping Up with the Pack team.